moving on to jQuery. jQuery is predefined set of library files created by Java, and it is made as a Java JS file, JavaScript files, and it is stored. You can store it locally. You can access it through your online websites. So jQuery current version is 1.9.1. In my case, what I did is I'm using now, I'm getting into computer. I'm using this as my folder jQuery. Under this folder, I'm now storing that JS file under this folder. You can see jQuery 1.3.2 is what I am using. Actual latest version is 1.9.1. That is the available version, recommended version as well. I now downloaded this JS file, put that inside my jQuery folder. In this folder, I have all my web pages that I like to customize. Take a simple web page or create your own web page, not an issue at all. This makes you to understand how a web page will look like. Don't get into a complicated page in the beginning. That is why I have taken a book. This is my original page. I now customize the page to book_1 because I am trying to change this page. If I'd like to get into view source of this page, right click on this page. You get into open with WordPad. I can open with Notepad or a WordPad, not an issue. So I open it now WordPad. You can see now I have my code available over here. In this code, jQuery always say put it in the header your script. Now I have one script. This is the query that I am going to use. First is I need to tell my HTML document from where you need to use this function. How he understand the function? Please use jQuery -1.3.2.js file. Copied the same name over here. This is my root path dot. Under that root path directly the file is available. This is what the indicator is. src is the indicator which uses the files. Right? I can also configure this directly to the web place latest. jQuery latest will automatically retrieve the latest jQuery available in that site. So it is advisable because there is a possibility of some functions getting changed. It is advisable to use the version of the jQuery built to your script. That is advisable. Now, once that is done, this portion is what we have written. Let me now not get into that. Let us go into the actual thing. What I like to do now. Now, first is when I do an event in that page, what you want him to do. That is the first thing. For example, when I click on this, say 59, what you want him to do, that is called click event. When I click on history of quick test professional, what you want him to do, that is what that particular event. So that is, we call it as a click event. You can do mouse over event. So mouse over also is recognized. Mouse down also is recognized by QTP. One is click event, mouse over event, mouse event, etc. So before we start into the coding part of it, first is how jQuery understands the object. That is the first thing. Let us now take a simple example. jQuery always a script. So I need to have a script tab. So without a script tab, it doesn't work. I need to bind the script, jQuery script. That is also we have done. Once we have done, we have this document object. This document object is nothing but the entire HTML is, the browser is termed as a document object, DOM, document object model. So document is the object on which I like to work. Dot ready function, this indicates that the page is fully loaded. Without loading the file, please do not execute the code. That is what the instruction we are giving it to the web page. So jQuery will only act if the page is fully loaded. That is called document.ready. Document.ready, without using document.ready, if you start directly using function, even if the page is not loaded, as soon as you click, it will start working on it. Sometimes it may work, it may not work. So document.ready is a very important candidate. Now, every script that we want to use in a jQuery, it is nothing but a function. So I create now a function. That function, what is that function? I am saying now book title cell. So to make you understand, I'll go to Notepad. jQuery says if I like the tag names, use within bracket tag name straight. Within string, put the tag name. This is what jQuery says. If, for example, I like all para to be hidden, then I need to say dollar. Dollar is the indicator that it is a jQuery candidate. Then P is the my para, is a tag name. Dot, then what you want to do? Dot hide, say hide is the method. Dollar, dollar is the mandatory to start with. Without dollar, QTP or any jQuery doesn't understand it's a jQuery element. So dollar to start with, dollar is a mandatory. If I want anchor A, then dollar anchor A, these are all tag names. Dot hide, all anchor in that page are now hidden. So sorry, this is dollar. All anchor in that page is hidden. This is how you represent a tag name. What is tag? When I say here, table is a tag, tr is a tag, td is a tag. Now class is class, right? So tag names are nothing but what you start with the less than symbol, table, it is a tag. So these are all tags now. If I want table row, dollar table row, tag name, so it is bracket, I say table. Now this is my table tag. Dot, I want to hide all the table, I can hide all the table. I want value of the table, I can use text to get the value of the table. So these are all the methods available to deal with the tag. I don't want tag, I want ID. That is called ID as an attribute. So if I want ID, then hash is the control. Hash represents ID of the element, attribute, ID attribute of an element. So if I want all IDs with matching name, dollar hash give ID name. So here it is ID name. Then I close the tag, quotes, dot hide. Then all ID names matching value is what you give it under ID name will go into hide. So one, directly managing the tag. Second, you can manage using ID as well. So ID is another important candidate that can be managed directly. So this is how you manage your ID. Second, I want to manage now class. Dot class represents, I'll say dot as dot, represent class attribute of an object, of an element. So if I want all class with name, say XYZ, so dollar bracket dot, you start with a dot, then you put the class name here. Then it represents the class of the object. So now it knows within that DOM object all the classes matching to the value whatever you type it here will get hidden. Now this is to represent class of the object. Within a para, I want this class. Within a para X, I want this class. Then dollar class name P, that is the tag name, then dot, then class. Within a P paragraph, this class I try to hide. There may be n number of para. Within a para, I want this class to be hidden. So this is how it is managed. End of the character is semicolon. Every statement as you end, semicolon to be used, because that is how Java understands the end of the statement. VB, end of the statement is control enter, control F, whereas in Java, end of the statement is colon. So we use colon now. Now create one simple HTML file. Try to hide a paragraph. Say, for example, let me create one simple HTML file. I'll open a notepad. In this notepad, HTML, I start with the HTML tag. I end with the HTML tag. Now this is an HTML tag. I need to have a header. I say header. I need to end the header. I end the header as well. Then I need body. So after header, I need body. This is the syntax of HTML. So I go with that syntax. Now this is how I created dummy page which is not having anything. Within this header, I can generally contribute a title. I can declare a title. So title is my tag. What is my title? My first web page. I end the title. 1 minute. So end with title. I now created a title, my first web page. Title is created. Now I am into body. I say P, paragraph. Paragraph, I say now attribute. I have not given any attribute because I have not created any attributes. So CSS file is the place where you declare the classes. My first para. I close the para. I now go with say para, another para, my second para. I close with now para. I close the tag. So this is my HTML file I created. I save this now. I save as, I call it as one new folder. I put it under this folder, online QTP. Under this folder, I want to save this my HTML, my HTML.htm. Extension has to be HTML, so I made it as an HTML file. I save it. Now I made available for QTP to use. I go to jQuery, click on that new folder, Now you can see an HTML file. I click on this HTML file. You can see my first para, my second para. Both are now available. Now I close this. I edit that. Oh, sorry. I close the VM player itself. I hope everything is saved. So I open the VM player. It will now restore. It has gone into standby mode. It will restore now. Very easy to learn. What all requires is your confidence on yourself. Sit for some time, even though it is difficult. Sit, redo it, then you will know. There is no issues at all. Practice. You are in today's technology, you don't have to worry about the information availability. Google it, you will get any information you want. Anyway, now I come back. I like to edit this page. That page is already visible. So I now go to this page. I give an ID as a property. ID 1, ID equal to 1. ID is an attribute, so it has to be within the tag ID equal to 2. So when you give ID, it has to be within quotes. So I need to give within quotes, whether it is numeric or an integer or a string, it has to be within quotes. So I give it within quotes. I now save the file. I close all other things. Now I have only my HTML. My HTML having this, I saved this HTML file. I go to online help. I now open it in the browser. So I say open. Now I open it in the Chrome itself, because Chrome has an advantage of you have an element. So I want this element, right click, inspect element. I'll get that information below itself. You can see the entire HTML file below. Easy for you to understand. Now this is how he now recognizes. Fine, that's clear. Now when I click on this, my second para, I like to hide myself. So how I code it? So I don't need a server. I can manage this using a query. For any query you want to make, put it first under script. Script is the tag, understandable tag. Under script src. So src is my path, which file I need to use. I like to use dot. So you can see now jQuery is available under, it is now you are into online QTP. You need to get into the previous folder. So dot slash, then I need to use this file. I am using this file .js is my script file. I want this script file to be used. I end the tag. My script tag, I end it. This is the first you have to build. So you need directing now Qt or this HTML to use this query for your understanding. Now later, what I want to do, when I click on to the second para, I need to manage this using this jQuery. I like to hide this para itself. So to do that now, I have to put it under script. Under script, now I need to pass on those values. So under script now, put it under tag, script tag. Under script tag, you start coding your events. So first is, it is a JScript event, so I need to start with the dollar. Then I need to say document ready. Document is the object. Document dot ready. Once document is ready, I need to start a function. What is the name of the function? Once I start the function, I put a curly braces. This is my function. What you want to do with this function? So end the curly braces at this level so that you don't forget. Within now this curly braces, now I need to start. For what you want to work with, dollar again. With dollar, when the paragraph is set, paragraph dot click. When the paragraph is clicked, paragraph is the tag name. When p dot click is enabled, click, what do you want to do? I want again call a function. What is this function now? What is this function now? So what I want to do, I want to hide all paragraph dot hide. I like to do this. End of the statement is colon, then I close the bracket, colon, end of the function, colon, bracket, close it. So I terminated the function. Now what I like to do is, if somebody click on to the para, any para, it is not, I am not saying second para, no, any para, I hide that, all tags with para, I like to hide. This is my jQuery. How simple it is, you see. What you need to remember, one is this document object has to be within the parenthesis. You need to understand, because entire document object dot ready you are doing. Entire document I need to make it ready. Only if it is ready I want to call my function. So I am calling the function, and function opens with the open braces. This is our Java syntax. And in that function what you want to do, I want to do a click function, click event. So p dot click, I need to start a function, another function, and that says p dot hide. So this is my script. I made the script. Only thing is I need to ensure this dot dot works. I now come back. So I now click on my first page. I again run the script. So if it is not retrieving any content, that is, there is a mistake, there is a problem in your query. Now he has not retrieved anything. That means there is a problem in the way you have scripted. So we need to understand where the problem is. I need to close the tag. I close the tag now because everything is under script now. So I need to close the tag now, script. Tag name I given it wrong also. Script, here also it is, tag name is this. So now I close the tag. I save the file, Control Fs. Now I click OK. Now you are able to see that it is displayed. Very simple. Patience, attitude to learn is important. Now I did this. What I want to do now, I click on this para. You can see now both are hidden now. It is gone. So I remove, again I highlight it. Now I am clicking on second para. You can see both are hidden now. So this is what the jQuery is. So simple. I come back now. I don't want for first para to be hidden. Only if ID is say 1. If ID is 1, I want to click the function. I need to now hide 2. Hash means it is representing ID. Only the second ID I want to hide if I click on first. I want to make one more function. I can make, I go here, I copy this same thing again. It is an independent function now. And this function, if id is 2, if you click on id 2, I want to hide the first guy. I just change, that's all. So first is, if you click on the first para, I want to hide 2. If I click on second para, I want to hide 1. That's all. I save it. I come back to my HTML, refresh the page. Now page is refreshed. I now click on second. You can see first is hidden. If I click on click on first, second is hidden. Are you able to notice? So this is what jQuery in simple terms it is. So now I'm going back to the book to understand more on jQuery. This is how class is used, para is used. If you have a tag name A, you can use tag name. If you have a tables, you can use table TD as well. So everything is possible. So this jQuery is what you have to load first. I am now loading this jQuery using SRC. So this jQuery is used as a compiler. If I don't give this line, the entire thing will not work. This is the first introduction to our jQuery. Right? So next, what we do before we go to the next, do you have any queries as of now? Anything that you want to know more, let me know. You need to learn HTML, testers, these are all mandatory today. You need to know simple HTML. You need to know how to create a CSS file, how to manage a CSS file, how CSS file is used in the script, right? Basic things you need to know. Please learn those areas. If possible, we'll try to put it in the recorded, all those content as well, because we cannot take it as a class. I don't know. Fine. As of now, is this clear? Difference between jQuery and JavaScript. JavaScript is basically a Java object. It is nothing to do with jQuery. jQuery is nothing but a library of portion of the library, customized library. Java is Java. jQuery uses Java. There is no doubt. But jQuery is a library. It is nothing to do with other than libraries. It has a set of command. That command makes you to work. For example, here $I hyphen ID name. This hyphen ID name is an predefined functional library. Whenever you start with the hash, he knows that he has to check with the ID name into the doc object. So it is a predefined libraries. It is a collection of lot of functions within Java. So Java is a Java. jQuery is a collection of Java code. We call it as a library, and those codes represents DOM object codes. That is what it is. It's a subset of Java, I can say.